What seemed highly improbable Friday afternoon, the idea of Giancarlo Stanton in pinstripes, became the stuff of late-night intrigue as the Yankees sensed an opportunity to take advantage of new owner Derek Jeter's desperation to unload the biggest contract in baseball. By Friday night, in fact, it was looking like Jeter had nowhere else to turn, after Stanton had invoked his no-trade clause to essentially void deals the Marlins brass had put in place with both the Giants and the Cardinals. Indeed, Stanton had let his new bosses know he would accept a trade to only 4 teams: the Yankees, Cubs, Astros, and Dodgers. But by Friday night, indications were the Yankees were the only team actively in pursuit of a trade. According to one person close to the situation, a no deal was imminent and the Yankees were only going to make a trade for Stanton and his 10-year, $295 million contract if it was on their terms. Mostly what that meant, aside from refusing to give up top prospects, was the Marlins would have to agree to take significant salary from the Yankees, preferably the 3 years and $63 million remaining on Jacoby Ellsbury's contract, or at least most of it. That would allow the Yankees room to take on Stanton's salary and still get under the $197 million payroll luxury tax threshold, which they've said repeatedly is their top priority this offseason. Such a deal would give the Marlins long-term relief, since Ellsbury's contract runs out 7 years before Stanton's, but it would do little to give them the short-term payroll relief that Jeter apparently feel is crucial. Lince Ladke. That's why rival executives on Friday were finding it hard to believe the two teams could make the trade. And there was another complication in pulling it off. Just like Stanton, Ellsbury has a no-trade clause. Why would he agree to go play for a team heading into a total rebuild? So even as talks were said to be intensifying, major hurdles existed. However, a person on the Yankee side said there might be a way to get a deal done without including Ellsbury, if the Marlins were willing to take Chase Headley and Brett Gardner instead. They will each earn $13 million next season, if you include the $2 million buyout for Gardner's option year, and both contracts expire at the end of the 2018 season, shortening the commitment for the Marlins. So basically the Yankees wanted to find out if Jeter would blink in negotiations by taking back bad contracts in any deal with Stanton. Else agiti images as it was, Jeter's inexperience in such matters had helped put him in this predicament. A few weeks ago at the GM meetings, he said he hadn't spoken to Stanton, and downplayed any notion that it might be important to feel out his star player on the matter. By Friday, he must have wished he'd had that conversation, however, because Stanton had made the Marlins look silly in negotiating trades with the Giants and Cardinals without knowing if he'd approved them, only to find out he would not. Which left Jeter needing to find a way to make a deal with the Yankees. It surely made for compelling drama, particularly since Jeter and GM Brian Cashman haven't exactly been pals since the captain's last big contract negotiation turned ugly, with the GM telling him to go test the free agent market if he didn't like the Yankees' offer. Jeter, of course, was ultra-confident as a player, so it was going to be fascinating to see how he'd operate from a position of weakness on this Stanton trade. After all, with all of their young talent, the Yankees don't need Stanton to have a chance to win championships for years to come. Andy Marlin, USA Today Sports. However, if they feel they have the leverage, they might just feel like it's an opportunity they can't let pass, adding the Major League home run king to the team that led the majors in long balls last season. The fireworks shows that he and Aaron Judge alone would put on would be beyond spectacular. But just how far would the Yankees go if they get close to a deal? They do have money to spend this winter, with some $70 million coming off the books in expired contracts, and on Wednesday at the stadium, Hal Steinbrenner promised he'd do just that. However, they'll only have about $25 million to spend and be comfortable about staying under the $197 million number, and Cashman has indicated he's going to add at least one significant salary, in the form of a starting pitcher after the Yankees lost out on Shohei Ohtani. It was only 4 years ago they were making the same claims about getting under the luxury tax threshold, only to panic over the fan reaction to letting Robinson Cano walk as a free agent and go on to spend wildly on free agents. But now I believe they'll stick to the plan, and they'll be justified this time around, as loaded as they're with young talent. The bigger question, as of Friday night, seemed to be at what point would Jeter blink.